Thanks for tuning in. In our studio, we have Rosa Parks. Welcome to our show. You are known from the Montgomery bus boycott, but what exactly happened on that bus on that particular day?
It was December the 1st, 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama. The bus was full and the driver at that moment, James Blake, noticed that several white people were standing. So he told me to give up my seat in the colored section to a white passenger. But I refused to obey his order. My refusal was because I was tired of giving in. The driver called the police and I got arrested. On the evening that I was arrested, the head of the local chapter of the NAACP began forming plans to organize a boycott of Montgomery's city buses. And so it all began.
You just told us you were forced to give up your seat, but what feeling went through you at that moment?
Of course, I didn't feel good about it. I felt I had the right to stay where I was. I did not want to be mistreated. I did not want to be deprived of a seat that I had paid for. And so it was time. I didn't hesitate to stand up because I felt that we had endured that too long. The more we gave in with that kind of treatment, the more oppressive it became. People always think that I didn't give up my seat because I was physically tired, but that's not true. I was tired of giving in.
Were you aware of the discrimination of certain people when you were younger?
I became aware of the segregation in Alabama. I could see there was a lot of racism in my society. As example, once I saw the Ku Klux Klan marching past my house, where my father stood outside with a shotgun. For me personally, that was very shocking and frightening, but it also taught me about the very real prejudices against blacks in American culture. At the age of 11, I went to the Montgomery Industrial School for Girls. It was a school for black children, but it was burned twice by arsonists. I also repeatedly got bullied by white children, but I often fight back physically because I'm a lifelong believer in self-defense.
The consequences of your boycott were not only positive, but also negative. Can you explain that?
Yes, because it's true. I became a symbol of the civil rights movement, but I certainly suffered in the months after my arrest. I lost my department store job, and also my husband was fired because his boss forbade him to talk about me. Um, so we were forced to leave Montgomery. I moved to Detroit with my husband and my mother. I also received many death threats for years afterwards. Luckily, my situation also opened doors. In Detroit, and I became active in the Black Power movement and the support of political prisoners in the US. I organized and collaborated with civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King. I became an international icon of resistance to racial segregation.
Thank you so much for being here. You've shared so much of your experience with us. We are very grateful for that.
You're welcome.